Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to some of the weirdest and dumbest superheroes and superhero powers that you will never see in the movies. As you know, I am Bandit, and I have here with me a man whose facial hair is so perfectly sculpted you would swear it was forged in the fires of a dying sun by Odin himself, Scott from NerdSync Productions.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. That's the best introduction I've ever had.
I just hope you haven't shaved, because then it doesn't count.
No, never.
Well, welcome to the show. So great to have you on.
Thanks for having me, yeah.
And for those who, before we get into it, for those who haven't seen Scott's channel, you should. He does not only character origins, he does a lot of topic channels, like Who Broke the Fourth Wall in the comics before Deadpool. Spoiler alert, it's She-Hulk. And lots of other great stuff. You should totally check it out. I'll link it here and again at the end of the video. And as you can see, there's a skip button in the top right corner with the time code. So if you're bored with what we're saying, you can just click on that or go to that time code and jump ahead. Plus, there'll also be a breakdown of the different topics in the description. But, Scott.
Yes, that's my name.
So here we're gonna talk about, we're in the age of comics, as you know and I know, we're in the age of comic, and we're seeing characters that we never thought we would see, like Aquaman, like Groot and Rocket Raccoon, like Captain Boomerang. Like, we never thought we would ever see these characters, but we are seeing them.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd cover some superheroes that are so weird we will never ever see them in the movies at all. So do you want to go first, Scott, or do you want me to go first? We've each picked 3.
Yeah, I say you go first, because I'm interested in hearing some of yours.
Alright, well my first pick that of a character I don't think we'll ever see in the DC universe is surprising, because he was created by the same guy who created the Big Daddy himself, Superman, which really started all of superheroes, and it is Matter-Eating Lad.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know, his power is he can eat and consume anything.
And that's it.
And that's pretty much it. But the reason this guy sucks is because he should be better with that power. It sounds silly, but if you think about it, if he can eat and consume anything, he's basically unstoppable.
That's true.
Because he can bite through anything, he can devour anything, like planets, meteors, entire solar systems. But he never does, and that is the fundamental problem with Matter-Eating Lad. At the end of the day, what the lad ate didn't matter.
Oh, what? I have a question, though, about this character that came to mind right now. Does he have a capacity, or can he just eat anything, no matter how large, and he never gets full?
Well, I don't think he ever does get full, because his origin, if you could call it that, is pretty much the same as Superman's, where he comes from a race of aliens where they ran out of food, so they just learned to eat anything.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I think he's the last of
from the planet
his kind.
Bismol or something?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
But other times you see it like he's tunneling through the ground by just biting the ground.
Just biting it,
so, like, how far could he get if he's, like, got the stomach of a regular man? He's not even fat. They've given him, like, the chiseled comic book, muscles. Like, that, make him a fat guy at least.
Now, so, I mean, I just have to ask, like, how much faster is eating through a tunnel than just digging through it? Like, you can only eat so fast, right?
Yeah, I think he does also have, like, a bit of super speed.
Okay. If there was some sort of hot dog eating contest to save the world, you want this guy on your side.
He did save the universe a few times by, surprise, surprise, eating dangerous things.
Of course.
But you think about it, he could, like when Doomsday was beating Superman, he could just show up and, like, if he can bite through anything, can't he just bite through his neck? And he could just take out Doomsday in one shot. But see, he never does anything cool like that. But even if he did, with a superpower like that, I don't think we'll ever see him in the actual movies.
Never.
What was your one?
One of mine on my list?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say there's a character called Whizzer from Marvel Comics.
Okay.
And his origin Basically, he just has super speed, which isn't too crazy. But his origin is what's really crazy about him.
Oh, the wizard, because he runs really fast. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, he whizzes by you. That's right.
Does the sound effect on the comic go whiz when he goes past?
I bet it probably does, but I don't know for a fact. It would be a missed opportunity if it didn't, is what I'll say.
Yeah, totally.
So his origin is, his name is Robert Frank, and he was on a trip to Africa with his father, and he was bitten by a cobra. And so he was basically dying, and his father, who I guess is some sort of trained medical professional of some kind, was like, well, he needs a blood transfusion right now, but there's no one around, like, other than himself. He could have easily just, used his own blood, but whatever. He was like, oh, hey, look, a mongoose, a wild mongoose. I'm going to take the blood of this mongoose and give it to my son, and that's somehow what gave Whizzer super speed.
Oh man, that'd probably give him AIDS. AIDS and rabies, that's what it would give him. It
would definitely. I don't think that's a good lesson to teach kids. Like, just start sticking other animals' blood inside you and see what happens.
Wow, that must have been written like around the time of World War II when they didn't actually know there were different blood types, and they're like,
he was a golden age. Yeah, I believe he was a Golden Age hero. And actually, in the comics, there was a time when he was considered to be the father of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver before Magneto came in, and then they retconned that recently so that it wasn't Magneto. But yeah, he was like the original father of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Okay, so I guess that would have been how Quicksilver got his super speed.
Yeah, he even has the very similar hair to Quicksilver as well.
Oh. I wonder if he predates the Flash then.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Imagine if he predates all of the speedsters. That'd be amazing.
That would be great. He definitely predates Barry Allen, but I have no idea if he predates Jay Garrick. That's worth a look. Somebody on the internet will figure that out.
Yeah, I'll try to find it and put it up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we'll ever see him because we've already got.
No, I mean, look, you've set up Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in two separate universes. None of those will we see Whizzer as the father of those two, even if it was still canon in the comics, which it's not. Plus, the origin story as well is just the weirdest thing. Yeah.
Like, at least make it like a radioactive mongoose or something.
Yeah. Like a wild radioactive mongoose that you find so commonly in nature.
Actually, come to think of it, like, since, like, obviously in the X-Men movies, they suggest Magneto being their parents, but they can't in the Marvel universe, so I wonder if there'll be, like, a winking towards
even if they just
Scarlet Witch being the Wizard's daughter.
Even if, because his name is Robert Frank, right? Which is definitely not Maximov. But if they just said, if they just mentioned that her father was named Robert, then that would be enough for me to be like, headcanon accepted, their father is Whizzer.
I'm going to keep an eye out for that in, like, Civil War.
Yes. Make this happen, movies.
Well, the next one on my list is probably one of the funniest superheroes, in air quotes if you want to call him a superhero, called Hindsight Lad. I don't know if you've heard of Hindsight Lad. He hasn't been around very much, but his power is...
exactly what it sounds like, I assume?
Well, his power is he shows up after the big battle with the supervillains, not before, so he doesn't help you during the battle. He shows up after the battle, and he uses his incredible gift of hindsight to tell the heroes everything they did wrong and how they could do better next time.
Which, I mean, has some value, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But not really.
It's got to be the most annoying superpower ever.
Absolutely. All the other superheroes, like, he stands around going, well, you should have at this moment when, Red Skull was given a monologue, you really should have just thrown your shield at him. And he's like, you weren't there, you didn't know the circuit.
He's just like, I have a broken arm, could you please stop talking? He's like, okay, but next time duck when he's punching. And he's like, shut up, Hindsight Lad.
And that's when you should punch Hindsight Lad, and then he'll be like, maybe next time I should duck. Because
If he could tell you that before it happened, then that's useful. But afterwards, anybody can look and go, yeah, I should have done this or I should have done that. He's like the world's most annoying coach.
Yeah. No, I would not. If that character was in a movie, that would be like the annoying sideline like fan of all the characters who's just like, hey, you guys are great, but hey, you should have done this instead, and everyone's just like, oh my god, get this guy out of here. I don't know. Man, no, I cannot see that in a movie at all.
Yeah, absolutely. He would love the internet because the internet's full of people like that.
Oh my god, yeah, he's like the embodiment of the internet, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened to him. He like turned into electricity and went to the phone lines, and he is now the soul of the internet.
You know that if they put him in the movies, they would adapt him to make him a little bit more modern, a little bit more sleek, and that's something they would probably do. Is like make him some sort of like they would make him some sort of like Tumblr blog or something called like Hindsight, and everyone just looks at that's basically what it would be. My next one is, speaking of speedsters that we were talking about before.
Love your speedsters.
This is one that this is a character that I've grown really fond of, even though he's only appeared in, at least as far as I know, 2 issues of comics ever. And I love him so much. He's become a staple on my channel. I have t-shirts referencing him as well. This is the character of Mopey. So this character is an imp that made his appearance in a Flash comic book many years ago, titled The Real Origin of the Flash. And what happened is, you know, the story about how Flash got his powers because of the lightning bolt and the chemicals and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, the story goes here that Mopey was actually the one who sent the lightning bolt to hit Flash. And so Flash really got his powers through magic instead of science. And obviously people really hated this. DC immediately retconned this, or they didn't even retcon it. They just let it drop and nobody ever mentioned it ever again. And he appeared in one other issue of like Ambush Bug, just to kind of make fun of the fact that he also was responsible for every hero's origin in DC and Marvel. Like he could cross universes, and he was responsible for every character's origin. And he is just the dumbest, most baffling character in all of comics, and he's great. And I love him, but he's so
actually kind of like that.
Yeah?
I like the idea that there's like one guy who's secretly behind all the superhero origins, and he's like this little funny little guy. I actually kind of like that. That's like the mountains of madness. You pull back the curtains and see the truth, and you're like,
it's all Mopey. It's always
he's
Mopey.
He's just like there tap dancing, going, hey, or something. Like, that'd be great.
He's just, I mean, even if something like, because he's really connected to The Flash, so even if in the Flash TV show, they just had a very subtle reference to something along the lines of Mopey, because later on in the comics, they took the idea of Mopey, and when they retold Flash's origin, the case he was working on the night he was struck by lightning was a case that involved drugs, like a new drug that hit the streets that the kids were calling Mopey. So they basically tried to keep the name, change it up a bit. Yeah. So even a little reference like that in the Flash TV show, or even the future Flash movie, would be kind of interesting to me. But I doubt they would do an actual magical imp.
Or even just somebody saying, this guy seems kind of mopey, or something like that. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I just want Justice League movie post-credit scene, Mopey sitting there like, all right, I've done it. Good job, me. I have assembled this whole team all by myself.
Is he usually sad as well? Or is he named is he named Mopey just after the drug, or does he also have a mopey attitude?
No, he's not mopey at all. He's just like a bumbling idiot, really. That's really all he is.
Wow.
He's not really good at his job, because he has a job. So
Really?
Yeah.
What's his job? Is it like a cosmic job? Like a cool cosmic job?
He's a part of the name of them is the Heavenly Helpmates.
Right.
Yeah. So these are the t-shirts that I have made for anyone interested, plugging my own stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw your video.
Yeah. So he has there's like the group of imps that just go around giving people magical powers or something, and they're part of the Heavenly Helpmates, and his job was to find someone to bestow like super speed 2 or something. I could be remembering this pretty wrong, but
sure.
This is the gist of it. He found Barry Allen and was like, oh hey, this seems like a cool guy, let's give him powers. Zap, shoot the lightning bolt at him. But apparently there are so many rules to getting superpowers that if you screw up, which they did, because I don't even want to get into all the rules that there. Just know there's like a million different rules for getting these superpowers, and the whole issue was them trying to like. Flash had to go and basically redo his whole origin because he broke some of the rules, and it was
I gotta say, I'm starting to like him as you're describing him. You're converting me to the Mopey.
I wasn't fond of him at first, but I really am now. Like he's become a staple at NerdSync. He's our unofficial official mascot, I think.
All right, so our top picks for characters that we will never see. So, how about? Do you want to save your one to last because it sounds like the best?
All right, yeah, sure.
My top pick for a character that sadly we'll never see, which is a shame because I think we should see him. It's not because his powers are lame; they're actually really good. It's just that nobody gives him any credit, and that is Plastic Man.
Yeah,
good old Plastic Man. We'll never see him in a DC movie, unfortunately.
No, I mean, especially with his classic costume as well. That would be really hard to pull off in live action.
But he's actually considered, Plastic Man is actually considered, I think, the third most powerful entity on the planet.
Really?
Yeah, after Superman and Martian Manhunter, I think it is.
Oh, wow.
But he's like, because he's like fully made out of plastic, he's sort of like a combination of like Ant-Man, where he can shrink really small, he can turn into a like giant Godzilla-sized monster, but also like apart from his usual stretching and his shape-shifting, so he's like Mystique, Ant-Man, and and Reed Richards. But also, like, because he's made out of plastic and his brain's made out of plastic, he's actually immune to telepathic villains. They can't hurt him telepathically. So he's actually really cool. Bullets bounce off him. There's very few substances that can actually destroy him. And there was, I think, was it Tower of Babel? I can't remember. But in one story, he got, like, dissolved down to a molecular level and sent back in time. And it took him, like, thousands and thousands of years, maybe millions, I can't remember. But he slowly rebuilt himself on a molecular level. So he's kind of like a T-1000. He's like,
holy cow.
He's almost completely invincible. He's actually an amazing character, Plastic Man.
That sounds awesome. I have to ask, and maybe you know the answer to this, maybe you don't. But there's this idea in science stuff. I don't know the exact field name, but there's this idea of neuroplasticity. So if your brain is plastic enough to, you can learn traits faster. So children have a more plastic brain, so they can learn things faster than adults can. And I wonder if Plastic Man it has this very similar thing where he is literally plastic, and so, well, maybe not literally, but you know, he can do the whole thing where he can stretch his brain out and maybe wire some stuff around to learn things faster. I don't know. That'd be kind of an interesting thing to explore.
I think he probably can, because I think he can do things like alter his eyes so he can get like night vision and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what's even weirder though is his son inherited the powers from his dad. So
really?
Theoretically he could like just breed an army of these plastic soldiers if he wanted to, which is a terrifying thought.
No. All hail our ruler.
Oh, He's a legend.
Our plastic overlords.
So what's your number one choice?
My number one is a character that I really like because of the huge impact he has made in the history of Batman, but hardly anybody's heard of this guy.
Okay.
This is a character called Penny Plunderer, and this guy is fantastic. His name is Joe Coyne, because of course it is.
Yeah, of course.
And he performs penny-related crimes. So he'll rob from people, but he'll only steal pennies. He doesn't want bills, he doesn't want quarters or anything. He just wants all of your pennies, which means that his crimes probably aren't super lucrative. But he also...
Wow. Is he a pickpocket with a name like Penny Plunderer, or does he like rob banks but go, "I'll just take the pennies"?
Yeah, so he's only been in a few comics, but I believe he just goes to like stores and says like, "Empty your cash register of all your pennies. Not the bills though. Don't want those. Just your pennies." And he walks away with like, I don't know, maybe $12 or something. Wow. Like he's not up there with the greats quite yet, but yeah, he tried to steal a giant penny from, I think, an art gallery or something, and because, it's thematic, that's what he does. He steals pennies, and this is a big giant penny, and so he goes to steal it, but of course Batman and Robin show up, and depending on which story you read, he gives them a run for their money, where he actually knocks them out with like rolls of pennies like in his hand. He'll like punch them and they go unconscious. Like, he is apparently super great at taking down Batman and Robin with pennies.
Hang on, so he has like a roll of pennies. He holds it in his fist when he punches someone to give it extra. Well, that does actually work, I've heard, but wow. Yeah. So does he also throw the pennies down if people are chasing them so they slip over? Yes, he absolutely does. That is a thing that he does in the comics, and it's always super effective. Wow.
But
I guess it wouldn't be against Batman because he's got his grappling gun. He can just grappling up in the air.
That's true. But the two stories that I remember from him are great because they both end really great. So in the first story, he's getting away from Batman and Robin, and then he's like, "Well, I need to call for backup. Here's a payphone." "Oh no, all I have is pennies. I can't call for backup with pennies. That's it. He's done." Batman and Robin catch him. Love that. Man. Love that ending. Second ending, even better. He throws, I think, a penny at Batman or something. I don't know. Something happens in the museum with the giant penny, and it sets off a chain reaction where objects hit other objects until finally the giant penny lands on the Penny Plunderer, completely killing him, like just destroying him. And Batman and Robin just kind of stand around going, "Huh, well, all right then." And then
Penny Plunderer. So he himself did get plundered by a penny in the end.
He did. Yeah, that's the irony of it all.
Dear, oh dear. You know what I'm thinking is, Batman has the giant coin in his Batcave.
Exactly.
If he knew that was there, he'd probably try and break in and steal it.
Well, the giant penny from
I don't know.
The giant penny from the art museum is that same giant penny that Batman has in his cave. That's where it originates from. Are you
kidding?
Is the Penny Plunderer. That's it. That's the story. It comes from the Penny Plunderer. They've retconned it since then.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He made a huge impact on Batman on Batman, because every time you look at a picture of the Batcave, you get usually 2 or 3 things. A giant dinosaur, a Joker playing card, and a giant penny. Those are like the 3 standard things inside of Batman's Batcave, and that penny comes from the Penny Plunderer. They have, of course, retconned it before so that it was either Two-Face, I think, in the animated series, and more recently in the New 52, it was a part of Zero Year, where they used it as like a giant insulator thing for sending out a signal. I don't know. It was confusing, but I like the Penny Plunderer
a lot
more.
I never knew. So originally that was from the Penny Plunderer. See, I never knew what that giant coin was about, but I always assumed it was Two-Face.
You would think, amazing. Right? It would make sense, but nope, Penny Plunderer.
Dude, that's amazing. I mean, and if they decided to give him like a gritty backstory, they could make it that he's the one who murdered Batman's parents.
They could do that.
Because when he shot them, they dropped all the pennies.
There you go. He was actually just like, "Give me all your pennies." And they were like, "We're millionaires. We don't have pennies. I don't know what you want from
Bruce
us.
Wayne's like, I've got like $5,000 in $100 notes. He's like, ah, and he just shoots.
I don't
him
want those. And he gets so angry, he just pulls the trigger. Well, I mean, it's only a short jump from Joe Chill to Joe Coin, so I think it's doable.
That's true. Yeah. And Bruce would be like cradling his dad's head, and he'd be like, pennies, damn you. Then he finds one in his pocket, and he's like, no, I could have saved them.
That's why, to this day, Bruce Wayne always carries around a single penny in his pocket. Just in case.
Oh, man. Dude, you know so much more about comics than I do. Well, thanks so much, Scott, for coming on the channel. It's been great fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, so much fun. So many laughs had.
So many, blanked. What's the word I'm trying to find?
So many heroes mocked.
Sorry, I got pennies in my brain. I can't think straight. So if you want to check out Scott's channel, you can
Penny for your thoughts?
I'm going to think of that now whenever anyone says penny for your thoughts. I've never even seen a penny before in my life. I don't even know what they look like, but...
It's like a smaller version of the one in the Batcave. Just a slightly smaller version of that.
Are they worth less than a quarter? Because I know in movies they're always talking about quarters.
Yeah, no, they are the lowest cent possible. Nobody, so much so that everyone's thinking that like the government's thinking of getting rid of pennies permanently because they cost more than a penny to make a penny.
Oh wow! I hope they don't do that. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Penny plunderer if they pass that law.
If they pass that law, and there is not a comic story arc that goes into the mind of Penny Plunderer after this, like even if the entire thing takes place like in his cell in Arkham Asylum, and then we just go into his mind to what he's thinking, that would be amazing. They should do that.
He could actually become a serious villain then, because he'd go crazy, because then pennies are so rare to find. He'd just go insane looking for them.
Oh, man. That would make his character a lot better though. Like if pennies became this kind of rarity that he was trying to collect them all. Oh, that'd be amazing.
So if you want to check out Scott's channel, click on the annotation here on the screen, or the card in the top right corner, or the link down in the description. Thanks again, Scott. It's been a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh man, it's been great.
And we'll see you guys later.